Okay guys, so for our Friday morning yoga today, or good morning yoga, we are going to, our theme is center. It'll be a short little flow and we'll focus on our core, on our center. So let's go ahead. My cat's probably gonna join us today. So let me go ahead. I'm gonna go close the door real quick and then let's meet on the mat and we'll get started. So finding your way to your mat, just to introduce myself really quickly in case you're on here and you haven't moved with me before. My name is Jen and I am here to do a little yoga this morning. So let's go ahead and again, I'll just offer you that word center. That's sort of our theme today. So just maybe keep that in mind. We'll kind of talk about that as we get moving today. So let's go ahead and make our way actually on our backs. Okay, so if you feel the need for any pillows or blankets or other props, blocks, whatever you've got handy, you're welcome to, by all means, bring those into your practice. In fact, I encourage that. Just, it's your yoga. So whatever you need to help you move a little more freely is beneficial to you. All right, so if that being said, if you'd like to put a blanket under your head or under your hips, when we make our way down, by all means, go ahead and do that, okay? So go ahead and come down, keep the knees bent, and then take the feet about as wide as your mat, and just let the knees fall in towards one another, just to let the legs rest here. Close the eyes if that feels okay for you. And then just take the hands right onto the belly. So don't stack one on top of the other, just place the hands on top of your center. And just relax them there, soften the shoulders, let the back meet the mat. And just sort of centering ourselves, taking a moment to arrive here on the mat, ready to practice, ready to move. And as you start to come to that place of readiness, turn your awareness onto your breath. So feel the breath moving in and out of the nose here. And then start to notice the breath as it moves in and out of the belly. So feeling that rise and fall of the breath underneath the hands. Right, as you inhale, the belly expands. And then as you exhale, the belly contracts slightly. So without effort here, we're just noticing that rise and fall. So drawing our awareness to our centers here. And as you continue to breathe, maybe starting to come into a more intentional breath. So as you inhale, really starting to let the belly expand, almost like an exaggerated breath, really like opening up the belly here, really fill the entire space with air. And then as you exhale, the belly starts to soften
And as you get to the bottom of the breath, starting to pull the belly button down towards the spine, towards the earth. Almost like a contraction of those muscles here. And when you're ready, take a breath in, once again filling the belly completely. And then exhaling, let the belly contract. Feel that underneath the hands. And when you get to the bottom of that breath, finding that contraction, pulling the belly down. You may feel the low back start to press into the earth just a bit more. Let's do that one more time. Full breath in, expand. Take up space with that belly. And then exhale. Drawing the belly in, down. And then just let the breath return to its normal pattern here. So you might feel like you started to warm up through the belly here. At least find that awareness. Okay. All right, so go ahead and take the feet, open up the knees a little bit, take the feet about hips distance apart. We're gonna stay on our backs just a bit longer here. And then just start to take the right leg towards the sky, flexing the foot so the toes are drawing towards the shins and the heel is starting to really press up towards the sky here. Okay, so your leg may be here, it may be here, it may be bent. Just let it be where it wants to be. And then just take a second. You might like to, circle the foot, circle the ankle a couple of times in one direction, and then moving the opposite way, just waking up the body from the ground up, per se. And then when you feel like the ankles had enough of that waking up, find stillness and really start to come into some activation with this leg. So press into the heel, really like you're trying to press the ceiling away from you. And as you do that, press into the left heel just a bit. So we're starting to turn on all of this lower body. And when you do that, you'll probably start to feel the low back press down into the earth, okay? Which then you might feel some activation of the core, all right? So even here, take one more breath. On your exhale, bend the knee, cross the ankle over the left thigh. Keep the foot flexed, coming into this little figure 4. And then just keep the left foot on the ground for now. And actively press the right knee away from you. If you want to use your hand, you're welcome to. Or you can just sort of energetically press that knee away. Really keep that right foot flexed. You might feel some sensation in this outer right hip. You may feel nothing. Either's fine. Again, just sort of waking everything up. Breath in. Breath out. Re-extend the legs towards the sky. And then again, actively press through both heels. Feel that activation in the core. And then just slowly lower the right heel down to the earth. Nice and slow. So starting, halfway down, you'll start to feel that core kick in. Feeling those hip flexors activate. And lowering it all the way down. And then just bend the knee once again, and we'll move to the other side. All right, so here we go. Left heel to the sky this time. Take a second, rolling out the ankles, one direction, the other. Eventually, just flexing the foot and starting to really kick into the left heel. Again, like you're really trying to almost hold the ceiling up with that left foot. And then just a gentle press with the right heel. Again, you'll probably start to feel this sort of tip of the pelvis, bringing the low back and a little bit more contact with your mat. And then just starting to turn on these muscles here. And just a reminder that, your leg can be here, your leg could be here, your leg can be bent. There's no right or wrong here. Take a breath in and a breath out. Bend the knee, cross the ankle over the thigh. Keep the left foot flexed as you press the left knee away from you. Again, probably feeling some sensation in the left hip, but if you don't, that's totally okay. Take an inhale. Exhale, extend that leg towards the sky, pressing into both heels this time, starting to turn on the core, and then slowly lowering the leg all the way down. There we go. So go ahead and bend both knees once again. We're going to do that one more time, both sides, with just a couple of changes. All right. You're welcome to come into any version that we've done this last time, or make these changes with me. Okay. All right. So go ahead. Here we go. Right heel towards the sky. You might feel a little more open now, maybe not. Either's good. Again, pressing into the heel. Okay, so start here. Now, take the hands, interlace them behind the thigh if you can. You can always just sort of grab your pants. If you've got a strap available, awesome. Grab that, or a towel or anything else, loop it behind the thigh and hold on to that. Okay, so now we're really looking to start to stretch into the back of the right leg. You can keep it slightly bent by all means. You can also start to slide the left heel out, keeping it in contact with the mat as you flex both feet. Okay, so that'll really deepen the stretch. So just be really mindful of what your body's asking for this morning. Take a few breaths. One more inhale. And if you've extended the leg, go ahead and draw it back in on your exhale. Release the hands, crossing the ankle. Once again, coming to that figure four, right foot is staying flexed. This time you have the option to stay as you are, just like we did last time, pressing energetically away from the body, or interlacing the hands behind the left thigh, gathering the legs to the chest. So coming into this version of pigeon here. Okay, so if you've decided to gather the knees in, take a second just to look at that left knee and notice if it's sort of tilting in towards the body. If that's the case, as it probably is, that's just sort of what happens. See if you can just draw that left knee to the left just a couple of inches so that the knee is in line with the hip. And that will just sort of give you a little bit more for that outer right hip. Not necessary, but it's just a little simple tweak just to get a little bit more into that space here. There we go. Take one more breath in and out. Release the hands. Take the left foot back to the mat. Look, notice that my legs are still crossed here. And then take the right heel to the sky once again. All right, so this is where it gets a little bit different. You can slowly lower that right leg to the floor, or you can follow along with me here. Okay, so start to activate the core. Press into that left heel, and that low back meets the mat a little more, activating the belly. All right, so we've got that activation. Keep pressing the right heel to the sky. Keep that activation. Draw the left knee into the chest. Okay? Both feet are flexed here. Hands come behind the head. Breath in. And a breath out. Lift the head. Inhale. Exhale, slowly lower the right foot about halfway down. All right, here we go. Inhale. Exhale, switch your legs. Inhale. Exhale, switch. And then just start to move here with the breath. If you'd like to take it a little bit slower, if you'd like to take it a little bit faster. Just doing these little bicycles here. Warming up the core. All right, take a couple more. Inhale. Exhale, draw both knees into the chest, lower the head, feet come to the earth. We're gonna move right to the next side. Here we go. All right, left heel up to the sky. Again, interlace the hands behind the thigh or the shin, whatever you got. Grab your strap, grab your pants. Just hang on. Hang on to that leg however you can. All right. Again, just working to stretch out the backs of the hamstrings. And either keeping the right foot glued to the mat or sliding the heel out to find that extension. Okay? Kicking into both heels. Breathing here. One more breath in. Breath out, bring that right foot back in. Release the hands and then cross at the ankles. So coming to your figure four here. Again, staying here or finding that pigeon by drawing the knees closer into the chest. And then keeping both feet flexed. Take a second just looking at that right knee. Notice if it's sort of coming in towards the center. And just draw it towards the outer edge of the body. So taking it to the right just a couple of inches. Hello, left hip. Good morning. All right, here we go. Take one more breath in. Exhale, release the hands. Right foot comes to the mat. Re-extend the left leg. All right, same thing here. Press into the right heel. Feel that activation of the core. Your pelvis will naturally sort of tilt, and that will get the belly towards the spine, finding that activation. All right. Here we go. Hands behind the head. Take an inhale. Exhale. Lift the head. Draw the right knee into the chest. Okay, here we go. Breath in. Keep pressing the low back to the mat. Exhale, slowly lower that left heel halfway down. Here we go, inhale. Exhale, switch. Find those little bicycles. So you can stay here. If you want to add more of an oblique challenge, you can add the elbows, meeting the opposite elbow to the opposite knee as you move. Okay, so take it as slow as you like. I will say that the slower you go, the more you will activate the core, because it's going to ask your body for a little more control than sort of just whipping it around. Okay? So go ahead and just take, let's say, 2 more on each side. Bring the knees into the chest, lower the head, hands come to the shins, give yourself a little hug here. And then take the hands behind the knees, rock and roll your way. The length of the spine, the length of the mat, all the way up. And then we're gonna make our way to dog pose. So coming to hands and knees, toes curl under, find the hips high. There we go. So as you're in that dog pose, go ahead and take a couple of breaths in through the nose. And as you take it out through the nose, draw the core up towards the spine. So finding that core activation here. If you need to take a second to, pedal out the legs, if they need a little more opening through the back, it's all good. Go ahead and do that. But when you found that stillness, take an inhale, fill the belly, exhale, core to spine. And it's almost as if you've got that imaginary mat behind the low back, just like we did when we were laying down. Just imagine that is on the low back. All right, so just imagine that you're pressing the low back into the mat even as you're here. Okay, that'll help with that activation. Go ahead and take one more breath in. And exhale out. Next breath in, we're gonna Lift the heels, lead with the core as you shift forward, shoulders over wrists for plank. Exhale again, leading with the core. Let it bring you back to your downward facing dog. 2 more just like that. Inhale, lift the heels, use the core. Let it propel you forward. It's a different motion than if you lead with the heart. One more time, inhale, shift to that plank, and we're gonna hold here. All right, press the palms away from you. So press them really down into the mat. The core is nice and strong. Press into the heels here. Beautiful, take one more breath in. Exhale, you can lower the knees if you like, or just lower all the way down to the belly. Hands are underneath the shoulders here, tops of the feet to the mat. All right, draw the elbows in towards the rib cage. On an inhale, we're just gonna lift the head and the heart. Keep pressing the tops of the feet down. And then see what it feels like just to float the hands. Give the back a little work here. Keep the back of the neck long, gaze down at the mat. Here we go. One more breath in. And a breath out, lower it all back down. Curl the toes under, press yourself back into your downward facing dog. And then walk the hands back towards the toes. Coming into a forward fold. Little different there. Yeah. Knees can stay nice and soft here. Let the head hang, give it a nice gentle nod. Yes. A little shake no. And then soften the knees and slowly roll the body up. Take the arms wide as you circle them up over the head, palms together. Exhale, and we draw them to your heart space. Beautiful. Take a breath here. Inhale. Exhale, draw the belly to the spine. Keep that activation. We're going to take a little walk up towards the top of our mat. All right, so keep that activation. The weight comes onto the left foot. We're going to draw the right knee up to the chest. Keep the foot flexed. And then step it forward. Left knee draws up to that 90 degrees. Keep the core strong. Let the core be what brings that foot up to you. Okay? Right knee draws up. And down. Last one, left knee up. And down. Here we go. Inhale. Press into the feet. Lift the chest. Press the palms together. And then exhale. We're going to find a little twist over to the right. Keep the palms pressing together. Hips are still facing the top of your mat here. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, bend the knees, hips reach back. Come into a chair pose. Palms are still facing, or palms are still pressing together. Take an inhale. Exhale out. Here we get a little lower. There you go. Take an inhale. And then exhale. We're going to shift that weight onto the right foot. Just pick up the left heel for a second. Find your balance. And then with as much control as you can muster, we're going to lift that left foot and then step it all the way back, finding a high lunge. There we go. Beautiful. So stay here just for a moment. Find your balance. Find your center. And then when you're ready, we'll inhale the arms high towards the sky. Settle in here for a moment. Feel that nice stretch through the front of the left hip. Here we go. We're going to take an inhale, lengthen up. And then exhale, arms come wide as you twist over the right shoulder. Inhale, come back to center. And then exhale, keep turning over the left shoulder until you're facing the long edge of your mat. Toes are facing out. And then we'll take the arms wide. So we're coming into a star pose, okay? All right, so take a second here. A little more light, there you go. In that star pose. And really start to draw some energy from the earth up to the legs, all right? So almost like you're trying to draw the legs together is the feeling. So you'll feel this activation, this lifting of the inner thighs here. So lift through here. Breath in. Breath out, core draws in, tailbone down, open up. Beautiful. One more breath in. On your exhale, we're gonna bend the knees, get the hips nice and low, coming in for a goddess pose. And then we'll take the hands, just sort of fingertips rest behind the head. All right, here we go. Inhale. Exhale, dip the right elbow towards the right thigh. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, left elbow. Inhale, center. Exhale, dip right. Inhale, center. Exhale, dip left. One more time. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Inhale back to center, straighten both legs, take the arms wide, palms face down. Swivel the right toes towards the top of your mat, left heel swivels towards the back edge of your mat, and then we'll bend into the right knee, finding our warrior pose. So even as you're here, notice what's happening with the center of your body. Is it sort of leaning this way? Is it sort of loosey-goosey? All right, so our goal here, right, our word is center. So see if you can really lead with your center. So really find the belly, right? Find your awareness back here. If maybe you've lost that, it's okay, right? Bring your awareness back to the belly. And then draw that belly button towards the spine. So really strong warrior here. Beautiful. Pressing into both feet. Here we go. Take a breath in. And a breath out. Take the left hand down to the thigh. Right palm faces up. And we're going to reverse that warrior. Little reach here. Inhale. And then exhale. Come back to that warrior two. And then we're going to take the right forearm down to the right thigh. Try not to dump all your weight there. And then the left hand is going to sweep forward and come over the ear here. Beautiful. And then rotate that left shoulder back slightly. And again, bring your awareness back to your core. Sometimes when we come here, the belly sort of gets nice and loose. It's okay sometimes, but today our goal is to focus on our center, right? So drawing the belly in, all right? So a really great tip that I've sort of been playing with is really pressing into the outer edge of that left foot, and then that almost just happens naturally, okay? Now, staying here, or you can take that right arm, let it draw right up next to your left arm like you're holding a beach ball. Keep rotating the chest up towards the sky, pressing into both feet. Really press into the outer edge of that left foot. Here we go. Take one more breath in. And a breath out. We're going to come upright, straighten the front foot, left palm down, right arm over the ear. Inhale, rise up. Keep circling those arms down to frame the right foot. Pick up the back heel. We're going to step back to plank. Take an inhale, shift forward. And then exhale, you can lower the knees for that cobra or lower halfway for chaturanga. And then inhale, cobra or up dog, yogi's choice. And then exhale, we meet back in that downward facing dog. We're just taking one breath here. Inhale. And exhale. Belly draws to spine. Walk the hands back towards the toes, coming to the back of your mat. Here we go. Take an inhale. Find a little halfway lift. So coming to fingertips or hands to shins, whichever feels best. And then exhale, lower it down. Forward fold. Release the head. Root into the feet. Take an inhale. Palms come to the heart as you rise all the way up with a flat back. Palms reach over the head. And then exhale, draw them into your heart space. We're going to take that little mindful walk back towards the top of our mat. So drawing the belly in, move from your center. So let the legs, let the knees lift from the core. Let the core sort of guide you. All right, here we go. Doesn't matter which knee you start with. I'll let you choose this time. All right, I'm gonna start with my left knee. All right, so keep the belly engaged as you lift the knee. Step it down. We're gonna do the 4 of these. So whichever foot you started on, we'll end with the opposite, right? I think that's how this goes. All right. Last one, lifting it up. Exhale out. Beautiful. Find your Tadasana. Find that mountain pose. Rooted to the feet. Take an inhale. This time as you exhale, we're going to come right into chair pose. Sink it down. My feet are hips distance apart. It's just how my body likes to be. If your feet want to be together, cool. All right. Palms pressed together. Get nice and low. Belly is in here. All right. Take an inhale. We're going to do our twists here. Exhale, twist over the right shoulder. Palms pressed together. Knees and hips are still anchoring towards the top of your mat. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, we're going to twist over the left shoulder this time. Beautiful. Inhale, come back to center. I just did a little tutorial on chair pose if you want to check it out. And then exhale, stay here. One more breath in. Exhale, weight shifts onto the right, or onto the left foot this time, and we're going to just start by picking up the right heel. So find your balance, activate the core, and then as much control as you can muster. Here we go. We're going to take that right foot, step it all the way towards the back of your mat for our high lunge. There we go. Settle in here. Feel that stretch through the front of the right hip. When you're ready, arms reach high. Settle here. Soften through the shoulders. Take a breath in. And on your breath out, open the arms wide, twist over the left shoulder. Beautiful. Inhale, come back to center. Keep twisting over the right shoulder towards the long edge of your mat. Toes are out, arms go wide. We're coming for our star pose here. We've been here before, all right? So activating the legs. Press the feet down as you draw the thighs in towards one another, finding that lift, opening up. Beautiful. Take an inhale. And then exhale, both knees bend, sink it down. Find that goddess pose. Get low. Hands to the back of the head. Just gently rest the fingertips right there, right in the low, the back of the head. All right. All right, here we go. Finding those little oblique dips. Take an inhale. Exhale, dip right. Inhale, back to center. Keep the chest open. Elbows are drawing back. Exhale, dip left. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Inhale, center. Last one. Exhale, right. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, we're going to straighten both legs. Take the arms wide, palms face down. Left toes face the top of the mat. Take that right heel, just swivel it towards the back edge of your mat. And then we'll bend into the left knee. So coming to the warrior two here on this side. All right. Soften through the shoulders. Lift through the belly. All right. So pressing into the outer edge of the right foot. Inhale. Exhale, right palm down, left palm towards the sky, and then we'll take it over the head, reverse it. Inhale, rise back up through warrior two, and then exhale, left forearm down to the thigh. Again, we're not dumping into it, we're just gonna rest it gently. Take the right hand, lead with your pinky, scoop the right arm forward in order to take the arm over the head. That just sort of gets the shoulder joint into a nicer spot. All right, again, press to the outer edge of the right foot to find that lift and activation of the core so that if you'd like, you can take the left arm to meet the right. Keep breathing. Keep pressing into the feet. Draw the chest open. Take one more breath in. And a breath out, straighten that front leg, rise up, right palm down, left arm over the ear, give it a little stretch. Beautiful. Inhale, rise all the way back up. Keep circling those arms, frame the foot with the hands, pick up the back heel, step back to plank. You're always welcome just to hang out here in plank pose, or you can move through that little vinyasa. Inhale to shift forward, exhale to lower the knees or halfway down for chaturanga. Inhale, come up for cobra or that up dog. And then exhale, downward facing dog. There we go, beautiful. Take a breath in through the nose. Breath out through the mouth. One more time, breath in. Let it go through the mouth. Last one, inhale. And exhale. All right, this time on your inhale, take the gaze just between the palms and then start to bend the knees, lowering them to the mat, but let them hover just an inch or two. Maybe you give them a little tap. And then exhale, we're gonna send it back to that downward facing dog. All right, so gaze forward, inhale, lower the knees, let them hover, don't bring them all the way to table. We're in like this little hovering table. And then exhale, press it back, downward facing dog. All right, I wanna give 2 more times, let's do that. Inhale, hovering table. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, forward. Hover that table. Exhale, down dog. All right, this is really actually the last one. Okay, inhale. Find that little hovering table. Hover the knees. And we're going to hold. 3 breaths. Okay, so inhaling. And exhaling. Press into the hands. Breathe in. And out. One more time, inhale. This time on your exhale, lower the knees down, take them wide, tops of the feet to the mat, press the hips back, find a child's pose. There we go. Let the elbows come all the way down to the mat. Give yourself a few breaths here. If you'd like to take the hands and bring the arms alongside the legs, that might feel nice, just to give the shoulders a little bit of respite. And if you don't find this a restful pose, by all means, come into a shape that does feel restful. We're coming to the end of our practice here, so we've got one more little core exercise before we come all the way down. All right, so go ahead and take the arms, extend them out if they're not already. Bring yourself up to all fours. And then just take the feet, swing them to one side of the mat. Come onto your bum, actually. I'm going to turn this way. All right, so coming onto the bum, feet to the mat, knees are bent. All right, we're going to practice a little boat pose. So I like to start with my hands behind the thighs here. Roll the shoulders back, get the chest nice and open, and then draw the elbows in towards the waistline. Lean back, and notice when you do that, sometimes the belly sort of starts to puff out and you get this little arch in your back. See if you can avoid that. All right, so draw the belly in. All right, again, like you're pressing the low back to that imaginary mat. Keep leaning back and then just come onto the toes. All right. So let's just sort of start slow here. Let's just start by lifting one foot, bringing it down. The other foot, bring it down. Maybe you reach your arms. One foot lifts, and the other foot lifts. All right, so just sort of alternating, lifting here. You're more than welcome to stay right here. I'm feeling my core starting to fire up already. So this might be a good place where you work on that boat if you like. You can lift one foot and then the other and stay here. Keep the chest open. The shoulders are rolling back and down. My core is shaking. Can you hear it? You hear my voice? Whew. Beautiful. Take one more breath in. And then exhale, release it, roll all the way onto the back. Hug the knees in. Take a second just to roll the knees around in a couple of circles in one direction. Move them the other way. Hug them in one more time. Inhale. Exhale it out. Go ahead and take the arms wide to cactus arms or a T. Let the knees just fall over to the right. Give yourself a little twist. Maybe look over the left shoulder. Take it all back to center. And then over to the left. Maybe gaze over to the right. Take it all back to center. And then just coming into a shape that feels good in your body. All right, so some place that you would like to rest. If you'd like to end your practice how we started, with the feet as wide as the mat and the knees sort of knocked in, you can find that shape, especially if your low back is feeling cranky. This is a really lovely way to come into Shavasana. If you'd like to extend the legs, by all means do that. Either way, take the palms, we're going to bring them back onto the belly. Reconnecting with our center. And so, when I talk about moving from your center here on the mat, I'm not only talking about physically moving with the core, but that idea that you're following that intuition, that gut feeling. So moving into shapes that your body is looking for. So that whole listen to your body thing, that's what moving from your center looks like. And maybe you're able to take that idea off the mat. And listening to that intuition, listening to that gut feeling. That's what moving from your center looks like off of the mat. So I invite you to maybe just be a little bit more aware of that as you move through the rest of your day. So taking a couple more moments to rest in whatever shape you've chosen. Staying a little longer if you'd like. And by joining your palms together right at your heart space, closing the eyes. Thanking your body for all it does for you. As I thank you for being here and joining me today. Wishing you all lots of light and peace and love. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, my friends. Taking the palms up towards the forehead, settling into the third eye center. And then just whispering namaste.